talk about using Teleport to secure SSH and Kubernetes access. So I prepared this talk to give you a brief introduction about Teleport, the access control features it supports that can be applied to both SSH and Kubernetes access. And then I'm going to show you a short demo on how some of these access control features can be used on case that would help achieve secure access to manage secure access to your infrastructure. So who am I? My name is Saksham Shah. I am developer relation engineer at Teleport. Before Teleport, I have 8 years of experience exclusively in cybersecurity. Worked on both offensive and defensive side, doing pen tests, red teaming, security audits, and also building bespoke cybersecurity products for enterprises. Besides cybersecurity, I love talking about new technologies and startups. And although I'm not that much active in social accounts, so you can ping me in either GitHub, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Here are my handles to all of these mediums. So first, what is Teleport? For those of you who don't know what Teleport is an open source project. We call it Unified Access Plane. It is a single solution to allow you engineers and security professionals to unify secure access to SSH servers, Kubernetes clusters, web application, databases, and desktop environments across all assets in your infrastructure. So what brings Teleport to access management? So the base core part of Teleport is it's based on certificate-based authentication and access control. So it entirely eliminates security risks that are related to using password-based access control. So no credential leakage, no password leakage, no use of insecure passwords. And also certificate means it also eliminates risks of using private keys to manage secure access to infrastructure. So although private keys are way better than passwords, but still private keys hold risks of managing access to user in situations such as what happens when authorized user leaves your company. So what happens, authorized keys is leaked in data breach, and you want to stop anybody to misuse that keys across your servers. So it's somewhat easy in situation where you have 2 to 3 servers, but in situation where you have tens or 20s or even hundreds of servers, then it's really hard to rotate private keys around your servers. So scoped certificates help you eliminate all of those risks and allows you to manage secure access based on user identity. That can be also attached to identity providers such as Okta or GitHub or any providers that supports OIDC, SAML, and such. Next, Teleport supports role-based access control. So having this feature, Teleport allows you to manage access depending on what role the user is required and possesses in your infrastructure and in your company. So for example, a developer only needs to access resources that the developer's day role requires to access. And for example, a junior developer might not need a root access to production servers. So role-based access control helps you define such boundaries within your infrastructure such that only the users that are required to access servers or services are actually authorized to access those services. Next, Teleport supports complete session recording and replay. It helps. So whenever any security incident happens or during security audits, so it helps to replay what the authorized users actually did in their authorization. So one of the challenges in cybersecurity is insider threats or even any employees misusing their credential to act maliciously inside the infrastructure. So session recording and replay helps you resolve in situation where any users, employees go rogue or in any security audits events. Next, Teleport also supports access requests. So access request helps you implement least privileges and just-in-time access. So in many situations in production infrastructure, users are not required to have a continuous 24-hour access to those servers. An access request helps you implement control that would allow any users, if required to access your infrastructure, they would need to request, give a context to what are the reasons they need to access server or services. And administrator can view that context and either approve or deny access to the infrastructure. So Teleport integrates with any ChatOps platform such as Slack, PagerDuty, or you can also use Teleport API to develop your own custom plugin to implement access requests. Next, Teleport has also, apart from certificate-based authentication, role-based access control, session recording, and replays, Teleport also supports dual authorization that is related to access requests that we presented earlier. Teleport also supports, allows you to define role templates that can be used to assign policies dynamically to users who would access your infrastructure. Teleport allows you to impersonate another user such that you can use these features to create short-lived certificate that will be that can be applied to CI/CD so that you don't need to provision actual credential for users in cases that will be deployed in public infrastructure such as GitHub Actions, GitLab CI. And by default, Teleport also supports second factor authentication, so you can enforce another layer of access control on top of existing certificate-based authentication. Teleport also supports privilege per session multi-factor authentication. So for mission critical servers, so users enforcing these features will require user to perform second factor authentication every time they initiate new session. And lastly, Teleport supports session and identity locking. So these features is one of the useful feature in cases such that what happens if you identify a user is acting maliciously in already authenticated session, or you find that a user credential has been misused to access your infrastructure and you want to block access to that servers. So rather than you blocking access to entire fleet of your servers, you can just implement session locking and block access to particular server or service that the malicious user is using, so that you can avoid downtime to your infrastructure, and yet you can successfully block the malicious access. So these features collectively helps you implement secure access to your infrastructure via SSH or Kubernetes